Hey everybody, welcome back. There's a new NVIDIA driver today, 572.60, and it doesn't have anything specific to Microsoft Flight Simulator either version, but there are some fixes for some black screen issues that people have had, and there's also been some stuttering issues in VR, or frame pacing, I guess is what the new term is. I've been playing with the Pimax Crystal Light in both sims, and in Flight Sim 2020 it is stunning. It is flawless, 70 plus frames per second, just wonderful. In Flight Sim 24 it's a disaster, so I'm going to try to update this driver now, and we'll see if perhaps any of that changes in Flight Sim 24. So let's update the driver and we'll have a look. I'm here in the NVIDIA app, and this is the way I do it nowadays. Some people do DDU and uninstall and all this stuff. I just find updating here in the app is super easy. It shows you your installed driver, previously installed drivers. So if you want to roll back, you just click on this and click reinstall. Very, very easy. Up here in the upper right hand corner, I'm going to click on download. And so here we have the install. We'll click on install. Always want to do a custom installation. Nothing here to update in the PhysX system software. I do not want the HD audio driver, so I'm just going to uncheck that, and we'll click continue and install the driver. All right, install is now complete. I'm tempted right now to go and clear out my caches. In fact, I think I'm actually going to do that. Haven't done it the last few drivers, so I'm going to go clear out my caches and then do a little flying to build them back up. Then we'll do some testing in both sims, so I will see you back here shortly. All right, I'll show you the quick way to delete your shader caches if you don't know how to do it. The shader caches, these are basically small programs that your GPU uses to run programs, and the different games and simulators that you run have different shaders associated with them. Sometimes when the shaders are built by the game, they can have errors, they can have issues that can cause performance problems. Deleting your shader caches will force the sim to rebuild your shader cache once you restart the sim, and then hopefully the new ones that it installs are error-free. You can see really nice performance gains by doing this, so I'll show you how to do it real quick. On your desktop, right-click your desktop, come down here to NVIDIA Control Panel, open your NVIDIA Control Panel. In the global settings, manage 3D settings, global settings, come down here to shader cache size. Yours is probably going to be either 10 gigabytes or the way I run it is unlimited. So this is what you're going to see. So come in here, click on whatever your shader cache size is, set it to disabled, click apply, and then restart your computer. Once you've restarted your computer, come into C, users, find whatever your username is, in my case, MTR_N, open that, go into app data. Now, the different drivers, NVIDIA puts these shader caches in different places, so you may have to look around a little bit to find them. Go into local, come here to NVIDIA, open NVIDIA, and you're going to see here DX Cache. Go into the DX Cache folder again. I just cleared mine, so I can't show it to you. Go into your DX Cache folder, select everything in there, and delete it all. It might delete like 90% of your shaders, and it's going to tell you it can't delete the remaining ones. If that's the case, what you need to do is go into safe mode, and then you will be able to delete the rest of them. To go into safe mode, you hold down Shift, click Power, Restart while holding down Shift, and then there's an option to change the startup behavior, and then you select that. Then there's an option to troubleshoot, you select that. Then it will give you the option for a safe boot, which I believe is number 4. But if you need any help with it, just Google how to restart your PC in safe mode. So once you've deleted this, come back to app data, go in local low, look in NVIDIA. If in local low NVIDIA, you may see a DX Cache folder. If you see anything in that folder, delete what's in the folder. Back here to app data, roaming, come down to NVIDIA again. Now this is a slightly new one. I found this folder today, which I've seen in the past. NVIDIA is constantly changing where and how it stores shaders. I don't know why they do it, but they do. You may find a GL cache folder. If you find a GL cache folder, go into that, delete everything in there. If you find a computer cache folder, go into that, delete everything in here. And again, if you can't delete everything in your DX cache, your GL cache, and your computer cache folders, reboot into safe mode and you will be able to do that. Then once you're done doing that in safe mode, just reboot your computer into normal mode and you're good to go. Last thing to do, and a lot of people forget this one, come in here to disk cleanup. Windows C, open that. And here there is a folder for DirectX shader cache. Click on that. It's probably going to be a lot larger than what mine is because I just cleared mine out. DirectX shader cache, click on that. Click OK. It's going to ask you if you want to delete these files. Delete the files. This can actually take quite a bit of time, even though it's a minuscule amount of files it's deleting. It can take forever. Sometimes it takes like 5 minutes. It's really annoying. Then when that's done, open NVIDIA Control Panel again. Right click on your desktop. Open NVIDIA Control Panel. Come back here to shader cache size and set it to whatever you want to set it to. You can either set it to driver default, 10 gigabytes, or unlimited, which is what I use. Then click apply. Now your shader caches are all cleared out and you're ready to rebuild them. So what you want to do, just go into your sim and fly as you normally would. Understand that when you are rebuilding your shader caches, it can take up to 30 to 45 minutes. You might see some performance drop-offs. You might see some stuttering. That is the sim rebuilding the shader cache. It doesn't always happen, but it can happen. It's totally normal. So I'm going to go do that right now, and we'll be back shortly. Before we do the flight, I'll just show you real quick what my settings are here in Flight Sim 24 using DLSS quality. TLOD 205, 150 on OLOD, pretty much everything a mixture of ultra and high. Normally I would run auto FPS, but since this is basically a raw performance test, I don't want the advantage of auto FPS, and auto FPS is unbelievable. If you're not running it, you have to. Those are my settings. So let's get back and we'll do the departure here, and we'll fly over to St. Croix in the Diamond DA40 from Cows. All right, we're ready for departure. I've got my stats up here on the right so you can see everything. We'll go fuel pump on. This is my first flight after this is essentially the rebuilding flight. I'm rebuilding the caches. So if anything, I would expect performance issues, but as you can see, I mean, I'm pegged at 60 with everything on ultra. So there's flaps set, mixtures and props full forward. Takeoff power's coming in. Power is set, engine instruments in the green, airspeed is alive, accelerating normally. .70 knots, and we'll just ease it off the ground. Just gorgeous. Prop coming back to 2400. Drop the nose here a little bit, get some speed. We can bring the flaps up. Like I said, this is a really fun little airplane. There's 1,000 feet. We'll turn our fuel pump off. Fuel pressure looks just fine. Anguilla looking absolutely wonderful. But as you can see, I mean, performance is basically flawless. 60 frames per second, which is my monitor refresh rate. GPU and CPU utilizations are both nice. Getting up into the clouds here a little bit, so we'll go pitot heat on, and off we go. We'll fly on down to St. Croix. About 100 nautical miles to go. Probably take us about 45-50 minutes. So we'll see how things go on the way down, and I will see you once we get there. But so far, so good. All right, here we are coming up on St. Croix, and you can see we've got some really cool localized showers here. We'll see how that affects our arrival, but it certainly looks pretty cool. Performance on the driver has been flawless. I mean, it's been really good. And you can say, you know, I'm flying over open water, there's not a lot of scenery, whatever, but we'll see as we get into St. Croix and we get over the island how this is gonna come to work out for us. But I mean, so far so good, and I generally get a pretty good sense of how these drivers are performing pretty early on in these test flights. And this one I'm going to be very surprised, let's put it that way, if it turns out to be a dud. So we'll get down into these showers here pretty soon. It looks like, I think it's just the front that we're going to have to go through. But we've got about 20 miles to Croix, which is the VOR. And we're doing what, about 2 miles a minute, so it's gonna be about 10 minutes. So we'll start on down here, and first things first, we'll just set this down to about 1500, and yeah, we'll set it to 3000 right now, and we'll go flight level change. And we'll pull some power here. Now I'll start us down the ladder. It's almost a shame to keep the statistics up, because it's just so beautiful. I mean, the scenery is just amazing. Look at it. We've got like these little clouds underneath the shelves. And one of the interesting things about flying in this area is the weather. And it's not something that's been kind of reproduced very well in Flight Sim 2020. I mean, to an extent, it's not bad in 2020. It is absolutely wonderful in 2024. I'm actually gonna go VS mode here. Come down about 500 feet a minute. Right out here in the eastern end of St. Croix is a really neat national park. You should see the monument. This is actually the easternmost point in the United States, believe it or not. So I'm really enjoying this airplane, the Cows DA40, and honestly, to me, I mean, you know, with the A350 out, it might start to be a different story, but To me, the sim, Flight Sim 24, is just a really great GA sim right now. I mean, it's just, you get a good GA airplane in this sim. It's fantastic. It's just really fantastic. Flight dynamics are very, very good. You can see here we've got the Croix VOR and the airport, another, I would guess, another 10 miles past that. St. Croix is a pretty big island. Over here, that's a national park right there. As a matter of fact, the national park itself is underwater right in this area, and it is the only underwater national park in the United States. I will be here all day, ladies and gentlemen, all day. I got this this airport off flightsim.to, so I have no idea if it's going to be any good or not. In Flight Sim 24, I mean, I'm fairly certain it's good, generally speaking. And you'll get to see the, right here is that little, that's the little monument I'm talking about right there. You can drive out to it. I mean, look at this. But yeah, you can take this road right out here. That's the monument right there. And over here is where the national park is. It's underwater. You can go swim around and see all the neat stuff. Coming up on Christiansted here in this area. The Danish island was a Danish island, and so that's where a lot of the names of the the locations and cities and stuff are Danish. Little fuel pump on. We'll switch fuel pumps here. Fuel pump off. Fuel pressure is just fine. Getting into some rain here. The southern part of the island is really pretty, at least out this way, is pretty rural actually, which is kind of unique for the Caribbean. I think we'll go autopilot off here. We'll leave it out for a little bit longer. Just stunning. You can see the airport right off our nose here. We can go autopilot off. Beautiful island. It's a relatively big island. This is Christiansted, which is the one main city. The other main city over here is Frederiksted. Up that way, you've got the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. Very rugged and mountainous on this north side over here. Beautiful day. It'll be interesting to see. This is all oil refinery up here on our left. Quite interesting to see how well laid out that is in the sim. I'm sure it's gonna, I mean, you can tell already, it's unbelievable. I mean, this sim is remarkable. It really is. Start seeing the buildings popping in here. But I mean, look at the refinery. Look at the it's the first time I've ever seen buildings pop in like this. But look at the infrastructure. I mean, it's pretty remarkable. It's the airport coming up here. Go mixture rich, put the fuel pump on. Slow it down here a little bit. I like having this backup airspeed indicator up here. It really makes it easy to see. We'll go notch of flaps here. Not a nice downwind. We were here in about 2014, 15, somewhere in there. Just trimming it out here a little bit. Kind of a wide downwind. The performance is just fine. I mean, it's like, you know, I told you this driver is going to be just fine. And it is. Just rolling in some more trim here, coming down the ladder. Into the white arc. We'll put that second notch of flaps in. I mean, it's just, it is truly a remarkable simulator. It really is. You know, whatever you want to say about, and even, I mean, the performance is excellent for me. 12,700K 3080 Ti. You know, 2.5-year-old system. And the performance is just superb. It's not going to be very superb if I nosedive into the ground here. Yeah. Not even. There's one red. All right. Yeah, so you got some turbulence here. with the heat, you'll get this. There's props full forward, mixture and prop full forward, fuel pumps around, flaps are set. A little bit of power just to get some speed back here because we're getting a little bit slow. Myself back on center line. You can see that crest in the runway here. I don't land just past that. Don't ever like landing into an upslope if I don't have to. There we go. Alright. Oopsie. Yeah, that was a bit of a clunker. That was a bit of a clunker.
One. That's what people pay for.
No, you don't pay for that, trust me. If you paid for that, you'd want your money back. But so this is a Flight Sim 2020 scenery, so I'm not sure how the scenery is going to be, but a little bit of right crosswind correction. You can see the 1% FPS low, easy for me to say. Hovering about 30% or 30 frames per second right now, which is just fine. It's half my monitor refresh rate. GPU utilization is right about almost 100% right now. And I'm sure that's probably, you know, non-optimized scenery. This is a freeware scenery. So my guess is, you know, not quite optimized for this sim, but I did want to see it because St. Croix is a cool airport and it's a good airport to have a scenery for. So I mean, the thing is too, if we're seeing here good performance even with you know, not ideally optimized scenery, I think we're in good shape. I mean, I haven't seen a single stutter on this flight, not one. I don't know why things are kind of popping in, or if that's just a another user coming in to visit right now, but you know, somebody just loaded in maybe. But I mean, this really isn't too bad. It's a glider on the ramp. It's a cool airport. I'll come over here and park. It's a glider. I think that's pretty funny. There's a really nice representation of this airport, regardless of exactly what it looks like. Alright, mixture idle cutoff, throttle is idle, lights coming off, avionics master coming off, parking brake is set, we'll go flaps up. I forgot to turn my fuel pump on. I thought I did, but anyway. Master and battery switches off. Yeah, and I mean, 60 FPS, you know, so I mean, not a single stutter in the entire flight. Nice freeware airport here in St. Croix. So I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this driver is just fine. I'll check it out in Flight Sim 2020 as well. Hope you guys are doing well, and take care.